Okay, Miss Clark, it says she's offline, so I don't know. I hate that. All right, I think I've got everything going now. Now, again, I would like to stress that this section, I've covered the hard part of this section, and that is the table. That's the hard part. The rest of it is pretty much accounting. And as I said the other day, there's nothing really I can do except just show you the examples, because there is no other way to do the problem. And I think, and I'm saying this over and over because I don't want you to think I'm trying to not teach. I'm still teaching, but there's no way for me. There's no formula. You just add and subtract. Now, the only hard part is getting the table. That's the hard part. And once you get that, it's not a formula. It's a procedure. Once you get that procedure down, then all the rest of it's just adding and subtracting. Here is an example. Okay, and this is on page 260. And in 2013, Jude earned $26,000 in wages and tips from her job waiting tables. Calculate her FICA taxes and her total tax bill, including marginal taxes. What is her overall tax rate? Where have you heard of tax rate in news the last couple of 3 weeks? Anybody? Yeah, that's right. Let me just ask these 3 because the rest of y'all don't watch news. I ask people, have you watched it? No. I'm just going to be a stupid slave so the government can control me. Well, it's true. Anyway, what happened with Donald Trump in his 2005 tax returns? They got leaked. Somebody stole them, but basically he's paying a 25% tax. That's what he's been paying. He made $150 million, and he paid, what was it, $40 million in taxes. A higher tax rate than Obama. Obama paid 19%, and who's the other one? Bernie Sanders paid 13%. And you know what's so ironic about 13% and Bernie Sanders? He's a communist. He thinks that the government should pay for it, should do everything. Well, he paid the least amount of taxes. That's what gets me about these liberals. They do everything. They do as I let's see, what is it? Do as I say and not as I do. That's what liberals do. I'm talking about the left-wing nut jobs. I'm not talking about Democrats. I'm talking about left-wing nut jobs. And he's a left-wing nut job. And how do you get that tax rate? You know, how do you come up with that tax rate? You don't take an average of the levels, but you do it right here. You take the total tax and you divide by the income down at the bottom. And see, this person is paying a 15% tax rate. Because it's hard to come up with that tax rate if you're in 5 tax brackets. Using 5 tax brackets, you can't say you're paying 15%. You have to do it at the end. And it's kind of like taking an average, but you can't do it with the tax bracket, so you do it at the end. But anyway, assume she is single and blah, blah, blah. So her entire income, they give you that. So you don't have to do that. But you take the 26,000 and you multiply it by 7.65. Now, the other day, I gave you that information. And where is it? It's on the previous page. There it is, right there. Page 260 at the top. Remember, I told you it wasn't in a box. And I told you that you needed to write that down. And it's 7.65. Then you multiply it by 7.65. There it is. Now we must find her income tax. We get her taxable income by subtracting the 39 and the 61, which is the 10,000 that I told you about, which is single. and that comes out to be 16,000. Right? And here's where you go through the table and you find out that her taxable income, let's see, this is the FICA, and then her taxable income is 1954. You add those two together, 3943, and that's her tax. That's her taxes that she's supposed to pay on. And then you take the total tax, 3943, and divide it by the total income, which is 15%. Now, the reason I brought that up, like I said, is because lately tax returns was found and everybody's on the news was saying 25%. And I just wanted you to make sure you understood where the 25% comes from. That's where it comes from. Now, this is the FICA tax that the government adds, but this is how much she owes, $39.43. Now, how is she going to pay that? How does she pay that? How do all of us pay that? Through what? What do you mean? Through our paycheck. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Through our paycheck. All right. When you, and this is where I talk about dependents, and I talked about it before. In fact, somebody on Facebook was saying the other day that they don't understand. They were fussing about taxes, and they owe taxes. And somebody said, claim 9 dependents. And that's how you do it. So I still claim 4 dependents. Me, my children, and I left that ex-wife on there too, 4 dependents. I ain't changing. Because that way they take more out of my check. And that way I don't end up being audited, and I don't end up being, having to pay taxes. So, it's how you want to do it. If you're a penny pincher and you want to make sure that you pay exactly, then you go and you say, okay, I only have 2 dependents, and that's all you do. And then you figure out, are you going to hit it right on the money? No. You've got to figure it out after a couple of years. You figure it out. If you do 2 dependents on your paycheck and tell your employer you have 2 dependents, and then at the end of the year, the income tax, you owe $500, then you need to say, okay, I need to include myself, and say 3 dependents, and then you come out and you get $125 back. Then you need to claim 3 dependents or whatever. Now, of course, if you don't have any kids, you can't claim dependents. All right, I'm not saying lie. Huh? No, you can't just say lie. I'm just saying you can play with your paycheck withholdings depending on what you want to do. Okay?
So if you don't have dependents, okay.
You yourself is a dependent. You can claim no dependent or 1 dependent. That's up to you.
Okay, because I know there was a lady at my job. She said, I paid. And she's like, I'm not doing that no more. I said, what you do? She said,
good gracious, she needs to get an accountant if she's got 9 dependents, because that's a lot of.
The tax because she put now. That's why I think so regular.
She should know.
She don't have no. She's the only person.
I know. Okay. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. She's not single, in other words.
Yeah. Why did you?
Well, some people, like I told you, some people need their paycheck, so you claim no dependents, and that way you get more in your paycheck and less taken out. And then, but it depends on what you need. It depends on what you want. And now, I don't know, Mr. Harvell may have to worry about this because he's got all kinds of stocks and bonds. I'm just kidding. Dividends and capital gains, like Romney.
I just worry about the government still.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I do the things that.
Exactly. Now, dividends, then you wonder why people used to keep their money in jars. That's why. I'll tell you a story, and I'm not telling you this because I'm just telling you, I'm not chasing rabbits, but and this was in my great-great-great-grandfather's obituary. I got a copy of it. And way back. Named him after Thomas Jefferson, okay? Thomas Jefferson paid for Fluid. Lived at the Double Bridges because that's where all the McClures are from. Double Bridges, Deep Creek. That's what it's called, Deep Creek. They even had a church. The church turned into New Prospect. But anyway, he killed himself. He killed himself because my great-great-great-grandfather kept all of his gold and all of his son kept all of his gold and all of the money he got from the war between the states. I'm not talking about robbing people, okay? I'm talking about any money he got, he saved it because, you don't have anything to spend it on during a war. I mean, so he kept all that money in jars and buried them. Okay? And it says this in the obituary that he died because he couldn't find the money that he put in jars. It says that in the obituary. They put anything. Back in the paper back then, they put anything. And the father threw himself in the river, Seneca River. Tied his hands up, threw himself in the river because he couldn't find the money. And, but that just goes to show you, somewhere at the bottom of that lake over there at Double Bridges, there's money under that lake. I don't know how much, but it must have been a pretty good amount for a man to, they say he dug up the whole farm just about trying to find it. I don't know. I don't know if it's true or not. It was in the paper, though. There's a copy of the obituary. But the whole point is, people put their money in jars. People put their money in safes. I know a guy, very well-known guy in Anderson, that does drywall. And he had a safe in his house, his grandmother's house, over there on West Standards Road, right before you get down to the mill over there. And had a big old two-story house. And somebody, this is no joke, you got to realize when you work with drywall, you got a bunch of people with crackheads that work for you. Well, evidently one of those crackheads decided they wanted some money. He kept all of his life savings in this safe. Yeah, probably. Big old ugly guy.
Are you saying drivewall?
No, I'm talking about Coney Island.
No.
Okay. No.
Code did the same thing.
Did he?
About 10 years ago. It was actually.
I took a log chain. The log chain had to be 100 feet long. They carried it up the stairs, put the log chain around the safe, locked it, hooked it to a truck, and just yanked it out of the house.
Wow.
The whole point is $160,000.
That's what Code did too.
Mm-hmm.
He lived over there off was it East Chocolate or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
And he had, Code for roofing. Believe me, there's all kinds. Now apparently his girlfriend or something was there, and she was like sleeping around with one of his workers, and they conspired to take all of his money that was in his mattress, and it was around $250,000. Because
anyway,
he was shady. He never reported any of his income.
Mm-hmm.
He never reported. It was all cash.
And that's what people do. People do cash, and that's why you have this, because the stock market, you've got to tax that, and dividends, and they're going to get it. Somehow they're going to get it. Now, Romney, a long time ago, who ran for president, for some of y'all that don't watch the news, what was his big conspiracy? What did they jump on him about? Capital gains. He had a lot of banks or money in banks where? Overseas. Well, let me ask you a question. I want to ask you a question. If you had $20 million and you knew Uncle Sam was going to take half of it, would you put it in a Swedish bank account so nobody could get it? Yes. Are you stupid? No. Are you crooked? I don't think so. I think you're being smart. Exactly. And I just, because if you get 21 million, somehow they're going to get some of it. But that's what this is for. This is capital gains tax. So if you 10 to 15% tax bracket, you don't have it. So I'm pretty much safe. 15% for income, all higher tax brackets except the highest 39.6% bracket. which is like Donald Trump. And then 20% for income and 39% tax bracket. That's Donald Trump. So if you have dividends coming in, I send them my balance sheet, and that's why if you're a tax ignoramus like I am, except for these basics, I don't know the ins and outs. How many of you know the ins and outs of tax? You do because you work there, or what? Or you just
because
you've done your own taxes? What do you have to watch out for?
deductions. That's the biggest thing. What's that thing that, when I did their taxes for years, my daddy did taxes for all
Okay.
the farmers. So
Mhm.
I remember many times there was time of year he had tinkers just
All over the
displayed
place.
all over. You got receipts, with farming, you know,
Mhm.
you got receipts, blah, 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 blah.
Nowadays with computers, and this
Yeah.
is farm,
Appreciation.
the place up there
Extra block.
that sells farm stuff. Tractor Supply. Couldn't think of it. I was trying to say farm supply. Tractor Supply sends an end of the year report to me. And that's great. And I put all my diesel on a credit card. Now, why do I do that? But I pay it off at the end of the month. But I put it on that credit card because at the end of the year, that credit card sends me a report. And that's why I do that, because, and that's why you have a credit card, for stuff like that. Now, I pay it at the end of every month so they don't kick in what? That interest and those fees. So if I have a $300 or $600 diesel bill, I'll pay it off, so that way it won't accrue. That's how you use a credit card. And then at the end of the year, I have a feed bill. My John Deere account is a credit account at Southern States. I have that. So those three things, Tractor Supply is like odds and ends, feed and stuff like that. And then I have a bulk feed bill at Southern States. Like I get, the truck comes out and puts feed in the feeders for like 3 or 4 tons at a time. So, and I have that. So I just take those 3 envelopes and I give that to my tax person for the farm account, for the farm, like you're talking about. But the whole point is, if you're not an income tax person, get somebody to do it. Okay? Now, do the reports. Like you say, take the income tax reports that your credit card gives you. Oh, what I was mentioning is, I have 2 401ks, basically, for my children. And I've had them since I started here at Tech. And the whole point is, every year I get something from South Carolina Tax Convert. I don't even open it, because it has on the front income tax or tax information. I just put it in my folder, but what they do is they look at those, and they look at the dividends that I get on that 401k, and if it was high enough, I don't even know if it's high enough, but if it's high enough, they would use this. Okay?
See, now, it's a little different because you're not just contributing to your own life.
Yes.
So there's,
Yeah, so now,
someone that you-
yeah, that's why I don't fool with it. So if you're an ignoramus like I am, just get somebody to do it. And it usually comes out better. But if you like somebody that knows taxes, or somebody's cousin, brother, sister that has a tax and you worked there since you were 10 years old and all that, then yes, by all means, do it. But I don't mess with it. My dad was the same way. My dad wouldn't touch it. He would just give all the receipts to the tax person, same person I use today, and you do it.
that they're doing, if it's something happens, if all of them do whatever, your name, you didn't.
Exactly.
Liability, it's a liability.
And you know, my dad was 74 when he died, and he had never been audited, and he's had several businesses, several failed businesses, several good businesses, and he's never been, because he had somebody to do it. And that's something you need to think about, especially when you get rich. And like Mr. Harvell, and he, does all these Swedish bank accounts and jars in the backyard. There it is.
Well, I do those.
No, dude, I gotta say,
I told myself, I said, get one so tired of the revenue. They taking out $30 overdraft fees and money being there and my check or direct deposit. I'm talking about $100 and something worth of overdraft fees. I'm like, is that
It's a
crazy?
scam.
What I could have did with that money?
It's a
and used
scam.
that money?
It's a scam, I tell you. And I have that dang old overdraft protection. That's the best thing since sliced bread. You better make sure if you got overdraft protection, make sure you keep that thing clean because it will help you out tremendously if something goes wrong. Because we all make mistakes, and that's nothing wrong with making mistakes. 5 or 6 checks, that's not a mistake. That thing old, you need to be in jail. But anyway, Serena, that's the name of the book by Ron Rash, was single and lived off of inheritance. I wish I could live off an inheritance. Her gross income consisted of $90,000 a year. Okay. In dividends and long-term capital gains. She had no adjustments to her gross income, but had $12,000 in itemized. Notice the higher you go, sometimes it's better that you itemize, because what you do if you have more money, you buy more stuff. You have more stuff, mostly, unless you're one of the really, really rich people who don't have anything because they don't want people to know they have money. Those are the really rich people. Those are not the payment rich people. Huh? Yeah, and they bury their money and their grandfather kills himself. She had no adjustments. But the funny thing about that story is that Thomas Jefferson Tate McClure, which was Thomas Jefferson Tate McClure, ran around with Mance Jolly. And Mance Jolly's a little bit.
Oh, yeah, all those people are rich.
Yeah, but the funny thing, you want to hear something funny? Mance Jolly was Mance Jolly's, one of his sisters was my great-great-great-great-grandmother. And then Thomas Jefferson Tate McClure was my great-great. That's weird. That back then they were running around together. And then my mom and daddy died of their families. Ain't that weird? Huh? That's where he lived. His house is still there. The family house is still there. It's back behind those pine trees, right in front of the Department of Transportation. Across the road. It's back there. You can see the top of it. Yeah. It's got a glass floor, a plexiglass floor covering over the floor. Still has the blood from when they got shot and stuff like that. It still has, well, I don't know if it still has now, but it's really interesting. You have to read about Mance Jolly. He was really notorious.
Do people here even know in the war between the states, the Jollies influence on them? They don't?
You don't teach that around here. They don't teach that. That's wrong.
I'm not even from
Yeah, that's bad history. You don't teach bad history. You teach good history. Snowflake history.
That was good.
Well, I know it was.
I find that funny because in the lower part of the state, they teach South Carolina history. I mean, I grew up in South Carolina history, and they taught it.
Did they teach the bad stuff too?
Yeah.
Oh, they did. So anti-snowflake history.
But up here, I'm like, do y'all not learn about? I mean, there's no class just for South. You don't have a South Carolina history book.
No.
That's where you get your field trips to Charleston and Landing. And
Yeah. Charleston is
everyone goes somewhere, but go to Charleston.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they still have all the little animals and all the little huts and everything there.
I think it's in Atlanta, Stone Mountain's the same way. Stone Mountain's very historical. But anyway.
Anyways.
Take the taxable income minus the deductions, minus get me all choked up now. And then personal exemption, and our taxable income is $74,100. Okay, then you run it through the 3 levels right here. She's got what 74,100. So you're gonna be going up to pretty much those brackets, yeah, 39%. So, yes, I'm just making sure I'm reading it right. So 74, 1,000, so that's 0 up to 36,250, and then 15 times 74 minus 36,250. You use the levels in the tax, and that's 0 plus 5678, and so she has to pay $5,678 in income taxes. That's something I'd have to look at, see what I pay. I don't even know how much I pay. I gotta look to see. I don't even know what bracket I'm in. I'm gonna look at, got my income tax in the truck. I should bring them up here and figure that out. Yeah, I ain't got anything else to do. Now remember, Serena's overall tax rate is 6%. Now what do you think about that?
I don't see it, not doing anything, and just leave them running down, and doing 6% tax rate.
Okay, tell me why. No, you don't tell me why. Somebody else tell me why. Why am I focusing on that 6%? Come on, people, use your common sense. Huh? Okay, keep going. You're warm. Why is it a low rate? Okay, say that a little bit louder. She's only paying what? 6%. Now, why should that irritate you? Don't you think she should be paying a little bit more?
Because the person we work with, don't even bring it much in a year.
Exactly. So that's why people, you sometimes hear Democrats, I'm not talking about left-wing nuts, but sometimes you hear Democrats talking about the rich don't pay their share. Well, sometimes they can get by, because look how much they're paying. So, what else do you think about it? Anybody else think anything about that? I think Serena's got it made. She's a sugar mama. Tax deferred income. What does tax deferred income mean? Individual retirement account, IRA. That's what I guess I have. 401k. Yeah. Tax deferred. And I got it on the next page. See, all of it's adding and subtracting. I don't think they really cover tax deferred. Here we go. Suppose you are single, have a taxable income of $65,000, and make monthly payments of $500 to a tax deferred savings plan. How do the tax deferred contributors affect your monthly take home pay? Table 4.9. Where's 4.9? I guess it's on the previous page. I didn't know I skipped it. It must be at the bottom of the page. Well, it's 4.9.
That's the tax.
Oh, the regular tax table. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, we know that. Okay, so suppose you have a taxable income, blah, 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 blah. Oh, 25%. Each 500 contribution to a tax deferred. So you take 25% and multiply that by 500, and you get 125, and you subtract that from the 500, and that equals 375. So you start to see how this can get complicated. It can get very complicated. I'm not gonna spend much time on your tax deferred, because by the time you start doing a tax deferred savings plan, you're probably going to know your taxes a little bit better. I don't think too many 18-year-olds start to IRA or 401k, but a 26-year-old or a 32-year-old may start one. You know what I'm saying? But the main thing I'm going to focus on the test is that you be able to get your taxable income based on that table. All right, the rest of the stuff we're talking about, and it might be in your homework, but I don't think I put too much. I might put a FICA question on there, but most of it, I'd say if I gave you 10 questions, 7 of them are going to be on the table. Because I want to make sure you understand that table, because that is 80% of doing your taxes. If you can't understand that table, then that's the whole point. And that's it. So let's look at a couple of homework problems. I'm going to do the homework because I don't know the study plan's got a bunch of questions on it. Let's go to the homework for 4E. And let's just do a couple. Well, they don't have that many. And most of the time they give you the table and you just have to click on a button, but I think they do. All right, let me find one with the table. They don't? I thought they did. Okay. No, this doesn't give you, this isn't income tax, is it? No, this isn't your income. This is, they're just asking you to itemize or to claim. Right. Because they, now, a lot of you are saying, well, I don't understand this question. Well, this is just math. What turns out to be more? Okay? You got your deductible expenditures are $8,100 for interest on a home mortgage, $2,800 for contributions, $650 for state income taxes. Your filing status entitles you to $11,900 on standard deduction. Well, this is just plain math. This is a standard deduction. What does this equal?
It's right at the same.
It's right at the same. But if it's more or less, then you make a decision. If, let's say that these three numbers come out to be $10,000, which one would you do? Which one would you take, the standard deduction or the $10,000? The standard. Because you're taking out money that you, if you take out more money, then that means you have less to pay. You see what I'm saying? When you do the deductions, that's less money that you have to pay on. I'm trying to figure out an analogy, but this is such a hard section to do an analogy with because it's concrete. I can't do much with it.
If somebody offers you $11,900,
well, yeah,
or $10,000,
but
are you going to take?
What I'm trying to do an analogy for is the deduction off of the total needs to be more, so you pay less. That's what I'm trying to figure out. There's not one. Yeah. Because I'm taking more out, the 11,900, let's say 12,000. Instead of $10,000, I'm taking out 12,000. 12,000 out of your 20,000 leaves you 8,000 to pay. Okay? So you want to go with your highest deduction. That's what that one. So you'd say, somebody needs to add these three up. Let's see, 8,100 and that's 10,000, that's 11,000, that's 11,652.
11,700.
Okay, so which one? Standard deduction. Okay, there we go. I knew they gave us a table. Good morning. A woman is single and earned wages of $50,000. This is a test question. A woman is single and earned wages of $50,300. She received a $290 in interest, which is a deduction from the savings account. She contributed $500 to a tax-deferred retirement. That's a deduction. She had $650 in itemized deduction. Calculate her gross income, adjusted gross income, and taxable income. I only care about the taxable income. Use the table to the right for exemption and standardized deduction. Now, she's single, so the standardized deduction is $10,000. So what are you gonna do with those three deductions? What are you gonna do with those to check? Aren't you gonna see which is more? Okay, y'all just don't talk to me, that's fine.
Keep my mouth shut.
No, you can talk now.
No, I'm not.
No, I didn't want you to answer the question a while ago because I knew you knew the answer.
I already know this. No, I'm not saying that in a conceited way.
Oh, just get out of here, you're gonna fail.
Okay.
All right, what do you do with those three deductions? What did we just say in the previous problem? We're gonna add them up to see if what? Which is more, thank you. I'm trying to get the class to interact here. All right, add them up. What do you get?
Now, the 290 is income.
What is the 290?
It's interest, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, interest from a savings account, yes. So you would add that and then subtract, so 500 and 650, well, that's not higher than 10,000. So I don't think you need to use the 500 and the 650. I would use the 10,000.
So you gotta, well, this one, you calculated for the person.
Oh, so they won't need to take the, okay, so that would be 50,000, plus 290 minus what? 500 and 650. So that's their gross income.
But I mean, with those deductions, you wouldn't even consider,
No, you would use a standard deduction.
This has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, I'm thinking of taxable. I want the taxable income is what I want. Calculate the gross income, adjusted gross income, and taxable income. So the taxable income, I'll keep my handy dandy marker wherever it is. This is what it's tough to see. So 50,300, and then we're going to add what? 290, and that gives us 50,590. Now what is this? That's our income. Okay, now what are we going to subtract from that? The 650 and 500, what does that come out to be? 1150?
yeah,
And somebody do that on a calculator for me. 49,440. And what is that? What's 49,440?
that's adjusted gross.
Adjusted, that's our gross income.
Yeah.
All right, now adjusted gross income. I don't really know what adjusted gross income is. Anybody help me out with that? Or is that the 50,300 minus the? No, that would be
See, we haven't gone to the tables yet, so that's just,
because the taxable income would be 50,300 plus 290, which is 50,590 minus the 11. What is 10,000?
10,000, right?
So 50,590 minus the 10,000 over, what does that come out to be? 40,000? Now that should be your what? Taxable income?
Yes.
And then put that through, go ahead and put that through the dang old table. That's all I care about. So take the 40,590 and put that through the table.
To, what's it say, 89, 25?
89, 25, 36,
Oh, wait,
50.
simple.
Yeah, 89, 25, 36, 250, and 87, 850. So she's going to go to 25. What's adjusted? What is adjusted? Let's see. Let's put the answer in there and see what they say. 49 is the person's gross income, 49,440. I suck. I told y'all before I started this, I'm not an accountant.
It's gonna be the,
I grew up in that position.
Nine, that don't mean I'm gonna count it.
50,
Okay, there it is.
Is the
right there.
gross income. Executive is talking, adjusted gross income is your.
50,590. I meant the 49,440. Did I type it in wrong? No. I suck.
So 5590 would be that.
That's a stupid question.
Well, why are you?
It's the same thing. Now, are you going to use the itemized or standard? You're going to use standard.
I see that they did the adjusted gross income.
That's the same answer.
I know, but it's, they want to determine, differentiate between adjusted income and free income. And that's before any deductions. Gross income, free any deductions.
I guess I understand.
Adjusted is.
I don't see how they could be two different words and be the same
Gross
answer.
income, gross income.
I know what gross income is.
Right,
Gross
your
is,
deductions have nothing to do with your gross
yes, it's
income.
50,300. That's her gross income.
Right, but the adjusted gross income adds or subtracts whatever the interest or expense is income.
Okay, I thought, oh, income. Okay, I see what you're saying. I'm thinking of deduction.
And
Yes.
itemized deduction.
Yes. All right, let's run it through the dadgum thing.
Sorry.
That's all right. Thank you for fixing that for me. So it's 50,590 is taxable income, right? Because they've got me mixed up with this adjusted gross income. That's got me mixed up. So 40,590 is going to be in the 50. So how do we do that? We take the 8925, which is 8925. So that's going to be 892.
You see why they subtracted the 500?
Yeah, I see now. I thought that was the same answer. I'm sorry. I thought that was the same.
Because tax deferred is tax deferred.
I guess I'm dyslexic.
Yeah,
I need some GABA. Oh, see, now we got another smart aleck in the room.
Well, this is.
I was thinking that.
I thought this was the same answer. I took too much GABA this morning.
Really don't know. I really can't see that. Different.
They are.
That's why I kept saying it has nothing to do with the deductions.
I thought it was the same answer. You ever looked at something and thought it was something else? Okay. You ever gone through a stop sign and didn't know if you stopped or not? Did I stop at that red light? Okay, so the first one is 892.5. That's our 10%. And then the second one is going to be 15% at, and then we're going to take the 36,250 and minus the 8925. I'm going to let y'all do that in your calculator. And then the last one is going to be 40,590 at 25%. 40,590 minus 36,250. Then you add those three up, and somebody do that for me. We've come up with. I can't focus. Got too much together. Don't tell me domestic things can't weigh on your mind. They can.
Those text messages messed you up.
Yeah, pretty much. You know what 90% of domestic problems are caused by? No?
Hunger.
Yeah. Oh, I thought we were talking about this.
The root of all domestic,
The root of all
Problems.
evil is money.
it is. That's why you should put them in jars, put them in that wall. Yeah, you add these three up. You add 892.5. I'm sorry, what? 1050.57. Is that what y'all got?
No, it's 1050.
Oh, no, I think that's.
Add up the 892.
Yes, this, and then subtract that, multiply it 15, subtract this, multiply it 25. Gosh, you're gonna have to do a couple of these, so it looks like.
I'm just sitting.
Well, thanks. I need an answer.
What's so sad? Well, I'm not gonna provide the answer.
Okay.
I'll do.
You don't believe in grade distribution? Redistribution?
I will.
Not grade distribution.
I got to, you have to multiply the 15% and then the biggest.
You have to multiply 15%, that's 0.15 times this, and 0.25 times this. What'd you get?
You got 292.
What'd she make? No, she ain't giving up half of it.
6,766.
How much?
60,
76.25. That's more likely. Now put 6076 over 50,300 and see what you get. I'm just wondering, it should be less than 25%. 6076 divided by 5,300. It should be around 20% or something.
Oh,
Oh, I'm beginning to worry about y'all. Oh gosh, I'll go get my calculator and do it. Heck, dumb. Just wanted two numbers.
26.28.
How much?
26.28.
So she's paying about.
50 cents. 26.28, 50 cents. 2,628.
Okay, y'all getting three different answers now. Y'all had me at 2,000, you had me at 6,000.
Okay.
I'm about ready just to go get a calculator and do it.
Well, okay, 40,590.
Y'all need some gavel.
So I get 40,000 minus the 36,250.
And then multiply that by 0.25. Okay, listen, y'all. Listen.
Hold on.
If she's making $50,000, all right? What is 50% of $50,000?
Where did you get the $10,000? That's what I'm.
The deductions, the standard deductions.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Now we're gonna have a common sense lesson here. If she's making $50,000 a year, okay, and she's given taxes, let's do 50%. 50% of 50,000 is 25. Then that means 25% is what? $12,000. So if she was at a straight 25% tax bracket, she would be paying $12,500. So if you come up with $40,000,
6,000,
that's not right.
did you say 6,070?
One of y'all did.
Yeah.
Okay, what'd you get?
6,070.
Okay, then okay, take that money and divide that by the woman's income. I'm just gonna say 6076.25. Do 6076 divided by 50,300. What do you get? That's what I was asking for.
12%.
How much?
12.
So she's got about a 12% rate, tax rate. And how did I get that? I took 6076.25 and I divided it by 50,300, which is her income. Well, actually 50,000 plus the 290, but that's not going to, 290 is not going to take it over 13%, so it's around 12%. So she's paying her fair share. I think she is. At least she's paying more than the $90,000 check. What was her tax rate? 6%, and she was making $90,000. Now, do you see where people have a problem with the capital gains? They're not paying enough. Now, that's where the politicians, I'm just going to say the politicians are correct. The rich are not paying enough when it comes to what? Capital gains. They should be paying a little bit more. But you can't ask the rich to pay, what is it, 39%? I thought there was okay, they pay 30% right there. I've seen one tax, I don't know what the tax thing was, it said, okay, that was okay, I know what that was capital gains. But the 28%, that's 30. I don't think you should be asking for more than 30% of a person's earnings. I don't think the government should be asking for more. That's my own personal opinion. Bless you.
But the problem with the capitalists is they don't really tax high because people will invest. And when they don't invest, then guess what? The government's not getting kickbacks and interest rates off of when they invest.
Well, also there's something else. They don't invest. The companies
right.
don't.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The government, the companies, whoever, the stock market's starting to go down.
So, and there's two things that you got to watch, and that's interest. Interest is what drives a lot of what we're talking about. Interest on banks, on loans, and that's why they're so scared. Why are they scared to bring up the interest in the banking industry? That's right. So, hopefully you're learning something here. I hope you are. What's the answer? 60,000. Let's type that in. 6,076.25. I'm ready to quit. I'm really ready to quit. I can't even see it. Okay, well, they just freaking asked me. We still on the first daggone question. I'm ready for the answer. Okay, I'm ready to quit.
That's done. That's
I thought they were asking what they pay. Okay.
That's the 409.
I'm sorry, I went far and beyond. I thought they were asking. Okay, I'll shut up. I'm ready to quit. Let's just quit for today. I need to call the roll. I've had enough. I'm not going to do anymore. It's all the Russians' fault. Skype people, just excuse